Hey, before I do the review, I just want to get one point across. It's like really one small, but kind of like, big, but stupid little nitpick I have with this particular episode that I'm going to mention in this video. And pretty much has to do with episode 1 of Rwby Volume 7. And pretty much, I didn't like the fact, and it may sound nitpickish, but I didn't like the fact that pretty much the story in this was running at a cheetah's pace every turn with every character and every insignificant little plot line in this episode that I'll eventually cover in this review. I just want to get that out of the way right quick before I dive right into this. For starters, this may be a really brief, actually, review. Like, funny enough, this review may actually have very little to do with Rwby itself, considering, despite, how sluggish at times this episode's the plot lines of this episode got, it kind of had a tendency to actually speed up a lot at moments, like, character dynamics and whatnot and whatsoever. One thing I want to get started pretty much is they more or less intro this episode. Episode 1 pretty much opens up by the it opens up by the ending of volume 6. Yeah, there we go. With pretty much Team Rwby and the gang entering into Atlas City, and I don't know if this is forever what was intended for the animation of this episode I saw, or whether it's from the video that I saw this episode legally, but it kind of started going through this Dragon Prince phase. Yeah, I know I probably say that a lot. The Dragon Prince syndrome, where in some shots it looks like really incredibly choppy and kind of rigid in some spots. Or I guess it's just a really totally, legal video I saw this episode from. Platform I saw this from. It was Rwby. It was kind of actually... It was kind of actually a hustle to actually even attain this episode to begin with. But from the source, the format that I won't mention where I saw this from, and the sake of, people not coming to me about it, that I saw this from, it kind of had this really kind of choppy animation going on, which kind of actually tells a lot about the probably current atmosphere of what's going on in Rooster Teeth, because I heard there's like 100-something employees that got fired and whatnot. So this is only by pretty much speculations in terms of the animation. Other than that, it pretty much looks the same as volume 6. It's this really round and smoothish surface to the characters. The anatomy is really pretty accurate to the previous seasons and whatnot. This time around, it kind of tends to actually look a bit more shinier than usual, which is no big deal, but it's just something that really caught my eye a lot, especially with the character's hair kind of reflecting from it. So yeah, pretty much in terms of the actual visual animation, it pretty much still looks the same as Volume 6, but from whatever platform, maybe this is the authentic thing. Oh God, my grammar today. The authentic source. This is probably from the authentic source that I got it from. This totally legal format site I got this from, or wherever it's pretty much what was intended. But yeah, aside from that, animation visually looks great, but this episode kind of appeared to be really choppy. It had the Dragon Prince syndrome, like I said before. I don't know if that was intended or that was depending on the site I was from. In terms of narrative perspective, things tend to be a bit mundane for the most part, I would say. I mean, I know they just got there and they're trying to introduce everything, but at the same time, they just seem so. This episode seems just so keen on pushing everything to Noah. Like, here, take this, or here, there's this, and here, there's that, and there's this, and there's not that. There's this, and here, take this. Here, take it. Like, that's pretty much kind of how, more or less, the narrative of this episode was. It's like everything, all the plot lines, all the details, all the aspects that, they want to provocate. It just seems to be all pushed at the audience all at once, and it kind of is hard to actually make out everything. But at the same time, everything, like I said, it kind of moves at a cheetah's pace. Like, everything is just, thrown right at you, and it's kind of hard to digest it all. Pretty much in that concept. Yeah, my throat is going out. Just that time of the year. So yeah, pretty much on narrative perspective, everything seems to just be shoved down your throat at times, and it's kind of hard to take in everything because everything pretty much moves at a cheetah's pace in this episode. I mean, we see Pierre's creators, Qrow, which is pretty actually kind of ironic that I said this has a really narrative. The narrative structure of this episode is really, really hand-fisted in the fact that his name is Qrow. Never mind, though, but that's the point. Yeah, we pretty much know more about Pierre's father, who turns out to be some snazzy, jazzy, nerdy black guy who apparently is assisted by this really odd and kind of actually groaning-looking walking chair for him, I guess. Something like that just kind of bothered me some bit. I don't know, just looked at really the chair he was walking in. It looked at pretty cryptic, really peculiar, just kind of odd. Like, you can like totally cut off the middleman, just get like wheels to it, but I guess he just had to get the legs for it so it could resemble actual legs, I guess. I don't know. It's just pretty indifferent about overall his means of transportation. It really stuck out a lot, so to speak, in this particular episode. Pretty much Oscar doesn't exist anymore, pretty much. Everyone's pretty much just as annoying as they always were. And this particular episode has a really weird, odd way of doing fan service. I mean, Volume 6 had a weird fan service too, where as soon as the plot was going on with Cinder, the next thing you see is like Neo popping out of nowhere and they fight. Like, as like in this episode though, it just seems to be even a bit more odder because as soon as literally they land there and they're fighting Grim, after all that, we literally just see Penny, the robot from Volume 3. We just simultaneously see her come from somewhere, and she greets everybody, and then she does this little one snarky joke that I actually did like before she took off. And while she was taking off, she did this really annoying reply chatter back to Rwby, which I guess they tried to seem cute and funny, but just came off more annoying because it gave me like a migraine already, just trying to unravel everything that was being thrown at me. And I just feel like the really just cheetah paced storytelling in this, just with that particular scene when she flew off to fight more Grim, it just seemed like things just only became just more and more tangled, so to speak. More things it's more shoved at you. It's a whole lot of fast plot points that really just don't go anywhere. Like this particular one, as soon as they got to the city alleys, pretty much they came into the Atlas and they realized how shut down it was and how defensive it was due to the abundance of Grim invading and someone hacking into the city's mainframe to do God knows what. I guess that'll be the next big reveal in the next episode or later on in this volume. Pretty much, yeah. Things is a lot of things just going on that plays out in that's shoved at your throat, shoved at your face, but it just never seems to have any real playoff. And that gets me back to the point where there was these two drunk Atlas citizens that were complaining about. They seemed to actually try to defend Atlas from being, kind of violent and shut down ish, and they try to make it seem kind of like try to make it seem dramatic because they were drunk and probably mourning over their city pretty much falling apart through the fear of General Ironwood and whatnot. But they try to make it dramatic, but it literally was only relevant for a good 10 seconds before they literally took these two drunken characters, palette swap characters off the screen. So it's kind of hard to actually kind of synthesize because it was really done just in a really short nick of time. So yeah, that's one example of the plot lines they put out but never play off in this episode. The music in here, it's pretty just really background. The intro song is whatever, I guess. Take it or leave it pretty much. I mean, it's a Casey Williams song. I mean, some edgy, grungy shit into it all the time. It's always talking about something that has very, very little to do with, the context of, of the season or the plot or what's going on. I mean, it was pretty decent. The song itself, I'll pretty much give an adequate. It was fine. And pretty much literally as soon as Penny comes, this is midway into the episode, some type of special Atlas special police or whatever pretty much arrest the gang and throw them in jail, and pretty much that's where the episode ended. Just to literally leave the viewers blue ball for what's going to happen next in the next episode. Overall, I'm going to have to give this episode an adequate, seeping somewhere into obsolete. I mean, of course, I have an obvious opinion about it. I mean, that's what this whole bloody video is about. But there's not enough for me to judge it harshly, and there's not enough for me to judge it harshly. And personally, there wasn't a lot in this to actually despite if it's really cheetah paste narrative. That's literally only part of the problem, the cheetah paste narrative. And mostly the fact it's just really cringeworthy, just fan services thrown at you. Despite, we saw Penny die. Well, yeah, she's a robot. You just take her core out, as they explain it, put it into a new shell, and it was almost like she never died. But in Volume 3's ending, they more or less indicated it to be this really dramatic and sorrowful and anguish-filled moment within the series of her death, and pretty much her coming back to life. It didn't seem like, she was reconstructed or whatever, plot conveniences, whatever. It just seems like Penny was just simply brought back to life to get fans to shut up about her death in the first place, which even begs the question of, her even dying if they knew this was gonna follow up. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. Pretty much my small little here and there and Josh about Penny coming back and the overall fan service going on. The voice actors here then, Lindsay Jones especially, sound a little more confident, I would say, within the voice acting. It wasn't as just bad and putrid as it was in the previous seasons. It kind of seemed like the overall voice talent in this episode, or what's going to be of this volume, seems like it's actually gotten a bit better than before. It seems like they're actually putting their whole foot into this. Well, okay, at least a big towel. Okay, they're not putting their whole foot into this. They're at least putting a big towel. And it's better than it was last time. They don't got the whole foot in yet. They just got a bit of their big toe into it. If that analogy sounds accurate enough or comprehensible to y'all about overall the voice acting. And I know, really unpopular opinion right now, but Jason Douglas reprising the role as well, not reprising shit. No. Jason Douglas doing the voiceover of Qrow really didn't bother me. Yeah, I know. Come on. Yeah, get your thing going on. Get your hate going on. Make fun of my hair. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I didn't actually have a problem with it. I mean, you can kind of hear it where Jason Douglas tries to sound like Qrow, and it kind of almost sounds like he is stumbling at moments, even with the very little voice clips of Qrow we get in this episode, which I kind of think Rooster Teeth more or less want to give Jason Douglas more time to actually, like audition. Well, not audition, but like actually act it out. I think that's why they gave him really very little voice clips and roles in this particular episode, because they knew this is Jason Douglas' first shot at this. So I guess they wanted to give it these really convincing enough Qrow sound bites here and there in this episode, and pretty much want to spare, more or less want to keep it scarce so they can pretty much improve more onto the voice directionship in this episode. So I guess that's pretty much my thoughts on Qrow's voice acting in this. I mean, I guess he just wanted to give Jason Douglas more time, which probably explains the very little voice lines he's given into this episode. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. I mean, there's not much to judge about it. I mean, everything moves at a cheetah's pace. Everything's not really explained at times, but that's pretty much about it about Rwby in general. If anyone want to know what I've been up to, because I've been absent for a while, and only pop videos here and there, and mostly just school work. For my video editing class that I took, that some people may catch around here and might be asked what the fuck is this shit. But yeah, that's just some school work. I was required to post it on YouTube so that my professor can recover it and whatnot, so she can grade me on it. So yeah, that is sad. I guess there's some closing thoughts or some follow-up things I may do that I promised but I never fulfilled. My list is it's long. It's long, people. I know I made blue ball job people and made it seem like I lied, but no, it's just I've been busy and only got 2 eyes, and I cannot actually have time for anything else but work and homework and projects and whatnot. So yeah, but I pretty much stated it in hundreds of videos, and I know people may have heard it 1,000 times already. So yeah, there's that. Well, if I had to say something, I have to do some closing thoughts on this, or any suggestions I might have later in the future. Let's see, Castlevania is amazing, and honestly, right now, it's one of the best adult animations on Netflix in general. And, I'm really psyched to see Season 3, because Season 1 and 2 were just phenomenal. Animation, the story. I mean, at times it may seem kind of cheetah pace, may right on a cheetah's pace, the story of Castlevania. But for the most part, it told a pretty much enthralling and even sympathetic and really action-filled, heartwarming story for the first 2 seasons, and we pretty much kind of have an idea that Hector is going to be the white vampire's bitch's bitch. In the next season, she may serve as the next villain. I'm not sure. We got to cross that boat until we get there. A Silent Voice, I meant to do a review on that a long time ago, but I just never got around to it. And I promised that shit already on this channel. But yeah, Silent Voice is pretty good. I'll get a review to that. That was one of the actual latest movies that I saw in general, aside from Joker itself, which was pretty good, despite literally the first half of the movie just being misery porn. But no, Joker was pretty good. I can give 2 shits about Dark Fate, because that movie looks dreadful. I've pretty much already heard the synopsis and pretty much a lot of critiques on it and whatnot, and like summaries and whatnot on it, and more or less the opinions were pretty they were pretty putrid for the most part. So, well, the people's attitudes of the movies were putrid. What I meant to say, but yeah, get the drift. The Bleach light novels are pretty much amazing in the storytelling, and the origin of how the Bleach universe was created is pretty much literally something out of like Mesopotamian mythology, like how Lost Note, how Hoeko Mundo was created through the essence of a powerful hollow and all that. Pretty much, they really did step up their game within this novel, and I personally like it too because it's pretty much a smack in the face of all the people who said Bleach didn't have world building, which these light novels can't figure on world pretty much disproves that completely. So yeah, good for them. Still waiting for Promised Neverland season 2 to come out. And not only, honestly, despite that, I don't really look at anime much, but Promised Neverland is just really great. What else? What have you been up to lately? I guess that will do it. I mean, I'm still waiting for Season 3 Dragon Prince. Might get around to that eventually. Yeah, but I'm waiting for Undone. Definitely that. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I'm not really waiting on anything, really. Funny enough, I just mentioned everything that's coming out and what I'm waiting for. But funny enough, I'm just laid back, I guess, for the most part. It just... see what life or media would take me. The Sakura Wars anime looks choppy as a motherfucker. That's pretty much all I gotta say about it. It's suffering from the Dragon Prince syndrome from what I've seen of the trailers. Damn. I'm lost, y'all, a little bit. Voltron. I'm actually tuned in more with Voltron, despite of all the criticisms people had for the Green Ranger or whatever, being gay at the end or whatever. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Well, to be honest, the only reason why I even saw that TV show is because it had the Legend of Korra / Avatar: The Last Airbender-ish art style, which I like a lot, and I just feel like it'll just be a blue ball, not to look at it, mostly for its art style. I mean, the story's it's typical, I guess. It's all right for a Voltron, and I always did enjoy looking at the original series, the original series from the 80s on Adult Swim at night. Like, they would play like little old reruns of the original TV show on Adult Swim, and I always woke up during the time where they showed them. So yeah, pretty much I kind of have like a really teensy tiny affinity for the show. I'm somewhere around here. Damn camera. I also got to finish Morabito. I've read the chapter book, and it was pretty much amazing. And anime is pretty much just as great, in my opinion. So, pretty much when I get through that, I can expect a review for that later on. Somewhere in the future, probably next year, probably never, depending on the circumstances. That's what it kind of seems like. Yeah, like, pretty much also with, also pretty much promised I was going to review Code Geass, but never really got to that too, but I promised I was going to do that too later on. I guess that's pretty much about it. I guess for things I want to catch up on, or things I'm going to discuss or review later on in the future, or just things I'm just mostly interested in for the most part that really catches my eye for the most part, keep me from fucking drilling my teeth out with this college shit. It's tough, y'all. Well, yeah, that's pretty much about it. Shout out to Boy Dude Reviews. Make sure to go to his newer channel because his old one got copyrighted and blocked. So make sure you go to his new one. He makes pretty interesting content just like this one, like just little quickie, probably 20-minute reviews about things going on and whatnot. I'm trying to actually plan to do more podcast related content on this channel one day. Mostly pretty much talk about shit like this, pretty much with like 2 or 3 other people. So I don't know, just keep a sharp eye, I guess. Somewhere if I ever even kind of even get anywhere in YouTube, I kind of doubt it. To be honest, it's not like a pity thing or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's just, some people got it and some people don't, I guess. And I guess I'm just not one of them. It may sound like, I'm whipping myself on the back right now, but I don't know. I haven't been anywhere now. What's just the point? But I still enjoy doing shit like this. So pretty much my drive is gonna keep me to keep doing videos like these. So that's pretty much about it. Y'all know the drill. Like and subscribe. Comment what you thought about the video. Comment what you thought about Rwby. Pretty much type down what y'all think I should review, or type down what y'all been up to. Sure, I want to know more about y'all. I pretty much spilled everything that was on my mind to y'all. Oh shit, that's another thing. I got a review Last Man. I promised that a year ago. Oh boy, really need to write a fucking list. But yeah, I was just, still just pulling myself back up, and get myself back up on YouTube and whatnot. So yeah, that's about all. Do the basics down below and subscribe if you like stuff like this. Check out my DeviantArt account if you like art, face portraits, and blah 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 stuff like that. If you want to keep up on me on what I may be doing or what I'm up to, stick around on my Twitter account or whatnot. Pretty much is about it. And like always, man, I'm tired, bro. This shit wearing me the fuck out. And like always, man, the Storm is watching, y'all.